America in the early 1960s felt young and hopeful. After years of war and fear, people wanted light music and bold dreams again. John Fitzgerald Kennedy became president in 1961, the youngest elected leader in American history. He spoke with calm confidence and asked Americans to serve something bigger than themselves. Families watched him on black and white televisions and felt proud. Jackie Kennedy stood beside him, elegant and warm, bringing art, culture, and beauty back to the White House. Reporters began calling this time Camelot, like a fairy tale kingdom full of promise. But behind the smiles, the world was tense and dangerous. The Cold War pressed on every border. America and the Soviet Union faced each other with nuclear weapons and deep fear. Cuba sat close to Florida, now ruled by Fidel Castro. Civil rights protests filled southern streets, demanding fairness and dignity. Enemies grew louder, both overseas and at home. Hate letters arrived at the White House. Threats followed the president wherever he traveled. Still, Kennedy believed in being seen by the people. He shook hands, waved from cars, and trusted open crowds. He wanted Americans to feel close to their leader. In November 1963, he planned a trip to Texas, a state full of political tension, but also strong support. The visit was meant to heal divisions and build hope for the next election. No one knew that this journey would end a dream and change history forever. Friday, November 22nd, 1963, began like a celebration in Dallas, Texas. The sky was bright blue, and the air felt warm for late fall. Crowds gathered early, holding small flags and handmade signs. Many wanted to see the young president with their own eyes. Kennedy woke that morning in Fort Worth, smiling and joking with aides. At breakfast, he spoke about politics, peace, and the long day ahead. No one sensed danger in the room. Air Force One landed in Dallas just before noon. The president and first lady stepped onto the runway, waving as cheers rose around them. Jackie wore a pink suit and matching hat, bright against the gray plane. Secret Service agents stayed close, scanning faces and rooftops. Still, the mood felt friendly and calm. Kennedy insisted on riding through the city in an open car so people could see him clearly. The motorcade moved slowly through downtown streets. People leaned from windows and stood on sidewalks, smiling and waving. Children sat on shoulders to get a better view. The president waved back, relaxed and happy. As the car turned onto Elm Street near Dealey Plaza, the buildings grew taller and the road curved gently downhill. A tall brick building called the Texas School Book Depository stood ahead. In seconds, it felt ordinary and safe. History waited quietly, ready to strike without warning. When a motorcade entered Dealey Plaza at 12:30 p.m., time seemed to slow. The crowd's cheers echoed between buildings. Then a sharp crack cut the air. At first, many thought it was a firecracker. The president jerked slightly, confused. Another loud shot followed, and panic spread like lightning. Jackie Kennedy reached toward her husband as the car sped forward. Secret Service agent Clint Hill ran toward the moving car, jumping onto the back. Blood stained the seat. The driver pressed the gas, racing toward Parkland Memorial Hospital. Sirens screamed as people stood frozen, shocked and silent. Some cried, others ran. No one fully understood what had just happened. Inside the car, Kennedy was badly wounded. Jackie held him, whispering, refusing to let go. At the hospital, doctors rushed him into a trauma room. Nurses prayed. Doctors worked with speed and fear. But the wounds were too severe. At 1 p.m., John Fitzgerald Kennedy was pronounced dead. He was 46 years old. News spread across America in minutes. Radios broke into music programs. Television anchors struggled to speak through tears. In schools, teachers stopped lessons. In homes, families gathered around screens, stunned. The young president who promised hope and courage was gone. In one terrible afternoon, the Camelot dream ended, leaving a nation wounded, confused, and searching for answers. Nothing in America would ever feel the same again after that moment. Within hours, police sealed off Dealey Plaza and began searching for answers. Witnesses spoke of shots from above. Officers rushed into the Texas School Book Depository. On the 6th floor, they found spent rifle shells near an open window. A man named Lee Harvey Oswald, who worked in the building, was missing. That afternoon, a Dallas police officer was shot and killed in a nearby neighborhood. Less than an hour later, Oswald was arrested inside a movie theater. He looked calm but tense as cameras flashed. When reporters shouted questions, he denied everything. "I'm just a patsy," he said, claiming he was being used. America watched his face on television, searching for truth. Oswald was charged with murdering the president and the police officer. He was held in the Dallas jail under heavy guard. Crowds gathered outside, angry and afraid. The nation wanted clear answers, but confusion grew. How could one man change history so fast? Was he acting alone, or was there more hidden in the shadows? 2 days later, on live television, another shock struck the country. As Oswald was being moved to the jail basement, a nightclub owner named Jack Ruby stepped forward and shot him. Oswald died soon after. With the main suspect gone, questions deepened. Instead of closure, America was left with silence, doubt, and a mystery that refused to rest. Washington, D.C. fell into deep mourning. Church bells rang as flags dropped to half-staff. Leaders from around the world arrived to honor the fallen president. On November 25, 1963, Kennedy's funeral filled the streets with sorrow and respect. Jackie Kennedy walked behind the flag-covered coffin, holding her children's hands. Her strength moved the world. Television carried the images into millions of homes. A riderless black horse followed the casket, boots turned backward in the stirrups. It became a symbol of a leader gone too soon. People wept openly, strangers holding each other in silence. For many, it felt like losing a family member. Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson was sworn in as president only hours after the shooting aboard Air Force One. He promised stability and strength, but the nation felt shaken. Trust felt broken. Fear lingered. The dream Kennedy spoke of seemed fragile now. Soon, the government formed a Warren Commission to investigate the assassination. It concluded that Oswald acted alone. Some accepted this answer. Many did not. Doubts grew, fed by missing memories, unclear photos, and unanswered questions. The death of JFK did not end with funeral. It became a story passed from parents to children, whispered and argued for decades. The Camelot dream was buried, but the mystery was just beginning. Its echo still shapes American history today. After the funeral, America tried to return to normal life, but nothing felt normal anymore. Schools reopened, stores turned on their lights, and people went back to work, yet fear stayed in the air. Every radio show and newspaper talked about one thing only: how and why the president was killed. Parents spoke in low voices, so children would not hear. Many children still saw the pictures in their minds and felt scared. The government promised answers. President Lyndon B. Johnson created a special group called the Warren Commission. Its job was to study every detail of the assassination and explain the truth to the public. Judges, lawmakers, and experts worked for months. They studied photos, films, bullets, and witness reports. The most famous film was taken by a man named Abraham Zapruder. It showed the shooting in shocking detail, frame by frame. When the final report came out in 1964, it said Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. It claimed he fired 3 shots from the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository. The report said no larger plot existed. Some Americans felt relief. Others felt anger. Too many questions still remained. People wondered why security was so loose. They questioned how one bullet could cause so much damage. They asked why Oswald was killed before full trial. The answers felt cold and distant. Trust between the people and the government began to crack. From that moment on, doubt became part of the JFK story, and it refused to fade away. As the years passed, the assassination became more than tragedy. It became a mystery that pulled people in. Writers, teachers, and ordinary citizens studied every second of that day. They slowed down film, counted shots, and mapped bullet paths. New theories appeared everywhere. Some blamed the mafia. Others blamed foreign governments or secret agencies. Each idea spread through books, TV shows, and conversations at dinner tables. Many Americans felt the truth was hidden from them. The Cold War made people fear secret plans and silent enemies. Trust in leaders weakened even more after later events like the Vietnam War. The JFK assassination became the first crack in a wall that once felt strong. Dealey Plaza turned into a place of memory. Visitors stood on the grass and looked up at the sixth-floor window. Some left flowers. Others argued quietly about what really happened. It became a place where history felt close and painful. For younger generations, the story was passed down like a warning. Parents said, "This is the day America changed." The loss of JFK marked the end of innocence for many. Hope did not disappear, but became more careful and less trusting. The Camelot dream still lived in memory, but the mystery surrounding its end grew larger every year, pulling the nation deeper into questions with no clear answers. Jackie Kennedy did not stay in the White House long after the assassination. The memories were too heavy. She wanted her children to grow up away from constant pain. Still, her image from those days never left America's heart. She became a symbol of strength, grace, and deep sorrow. Her quiet courage showed the world how to face unbearable loss. Robert Kennedy, the president's brother, struggled deeply. He believed the official story did not explain everything. Though he rarely spoke openly, his pain was clear. In 1968, Robert Kennedy was also assassinated while running for president. The second loss felt like history repeating itself. Many Americans felt cursed, as if hope itself was being hunted. The Kennedy family became linked forever with both promise and tragedy. Their story felt like a modern legend, filled with bright moments and sudden darkness. For many, JFK remained frozen in time as a young leader full of ideas. He never aged, never failed, never changed. That made the loss even sharper. Every November 22nd, people still remember. News shows replay the footage. Families talk about where they were that day. The moment lives on, shared again and again. The assassination of JFK is not just a past event. It is a living memory that reminds America of what was lost and what must never be taken for granted again. Today, the story of John F. Kennedy still stands tall in American history. He is remembered as a symbol of hope, youth, and bold dreams. His assassination reminds the world how fragile peace can be and how quickly history can turn. One sunny afternoon in Dallas changed the path of a nation forever. The Camelot era did not end because its ideas failed. It ended because violence interrupted a dream still growing. That is why people continue to search for answers. They are not only looking for who pulled the trigger, they are looking for meaning, closure, and trust. JFK's words still echo across time. He asked people to serve, to care, and to believe in a better future. Those words survived bullets, fear, and doubt. They became stronger because of loss. The mystery may never be fully solved, but the lesson remains clear. A nation must protect truth, question power, and value peace. The assassination of John F. Kennedy is not just a story of death. It is a reminder of responsibility. As long as people remember that day, the dream of Camelot still lives, not as a fairy tale, but as a challenge to build a future where hope is stronger than hate and where history's darkest moments guide us toward light instead of fear. Before he became a symbol, John F. Kennedy was a young boy with health problems and big dreams. He grew up in a powerful family that believed strongly in public service. His father taught him that leadership was a duty, not a prize. Even as a child, Kennedy loved history and stories of courage. He wanted to be part of something greater than himself. During World War II, Kennedy served in the U.S. Navy. His patrol boat was hit by an enemy ship, in the Pacific Ocean, badly injured. He helped save his crew, swimming for hours in dark waters. That moment showed his quiet bravery. It shaped how many Americans later saw him, not just as a politician, but as a hero. When Kennedy entered politics, he spoke in simple, powerful words. He talked about freedom, fairness, and standing together. Young people listened closely. They felt seen and heard. For the first time, many believed the future belonged to them. This is why his death hurt so deeply. America did not just lose a president. It lost a symbol of what could have been. His unfinished plans and unspoken dreams stayed in people's minds. The assassination froze him in time, forever young, forever hopeful. Understanding who JFK was before Dallas helps explain why his loss felt so personal and why the pain lasted for generations. John F. Kennedy's legacy is not only found in how he died, but in how he lived. His speeches still inspire classrooms and leaders around the world. His call to serve others remains powerful because it speaks to something human and hopeful. The mystery of his assassination continues to pull people in, but the heart of the story is bigger than the mystery. It is about a moment when hope was strong and loss was sudden. It is about a nation learning how fragile dreams can be. Kennedy once said that history is shaped by courage. His life showed that courage can exist even when time is short. His death reminded the world that courage must be protected. The Camelot dream did not disappear completely. It changed form. It became an idea passed through generations, reminding people to believe in something better. That is why the story still matters. It is not just about what happened in Dallas. It is about what America chooses to remember and how it chooses to move forward. The world mourned alongside America. Leaders sent condolences. Flags flew at half-mast in foreign countries, and people across the globe watched the funeral on television. JFK had become an international figure, representing hope and change, not just in the U.S., but around the world. In Europe, Asia, and Africa, citizens felt the shock deeply. Many compared his death to sudden losses of other young leaders in history. Students and journalists debated the impact on diplomacy and global politics. Kennedy's assassination reminded the world how fragile leadership can be. Even years later, historians still study his policies, speeches, and dreams. His influence shaped international relations, civil rights movements, and American culture. People remember that a single life, even cut short, can leave an enormous mark on the world. November 22, 1963, was not just an American tragedy. It was a moment that touched hearts globally and made people question life, leadership, and history itself. The Camelot image, JFK as a young, energetic, hopeful president, has stayed in memory because it represents possibility. People remember him as vibrant, confident, and determined. The photographs of him waving from the motorcade, speaking to crowds, or laughing with Jackie remain iconic. His youth, charisma, and promise made the loss even sharper. America didn't just lose a president. It lost a vision of what could have been. People longed for the dream of fairness, unity, and progress that Kennedy represented. This longing keeps his story alive. Every year, books are written, documentaries are made, and students learn about him in classrooms. The fascination isn't only about the mystery of his death. It's about the life he lived and the hope he inspired. Even decades later, JFK remains a symbol of courage, ambition, and possibility. His death reminds the world of loss, but his life reminds people of potential, dreams, and the impact one person can have on history. Finally, the JFK assassination is more than a historical event. It is a story of life, loss, and legacy. It is about a young man who dreamed big, a nation that loved him, and a world that mourned him. The mystery of who killed him and why will always linger. Yet, the human story remains clear. JFK's courage, humor, and hope continue to teach generations about bravery, service, and belief in something bigger than oneself. The Camelot dream, though cut short, lives on. It reminds Americans that leadership matters, that every moment counts, and that history is shaped not only by tragedy but also by memory, courage, and action. Even today, visitors walk Dealey Plaza, read his speeches, and reflect on that fateful day. They remember a president who inspired hope, a family that suffered deeply, and a nation that learned the cost of loss. November 22nd, 1963, remains a day etched in time, a moment when the world paused, grieved, and remembered. But through memory, courage, and hope, the dream of JFK continues to shine, proving that even in loss, light endures.